And here we see my next target. Now the problem is, it's through there. And the issue with this water is, can you see the temple now? It's just there. The problem with this water is, it's always full of leeches. So it's off with the boots and wading through the rice fields we go. Right, and as we wade through, allow me to tell you a little tale. I, in my early days of temple hunting, knew there was a temple in the middle of these rice fields, and I rather stupidly went during the rainy season. A bit like I'm doing now. I've learnt nothing. I'm an arse. And the water literally went up to my armpits on occasions. Well, I got home and I was filthy and muddy, but I was rather pleased with myself, you know, that I'd taken on the challenge and I hadn't backed down. But then I looked into the shower tray and I looked at my feet and there was just blood everywhere. And I went, oh Lord, I must have cut myself in some way. But it wasn't. What I noticed was my body was covered with leeches. And you just don't feel them at all. It was rather a bizarre experience, you know, looking for cuts and then you see these black dots all over you. Now, oh gosh, it's not over yet. Right, our temple is here, and here is the moat built by the ancients. So I'm going to have to find a way to get round. Right, I've just taken my bearings. And what I can tell you is that way is east, which is a bit of a bugger, because the entrance way to these temples would be east, and all around it would be a moat. So oh, golly go. Right, okay, sorry, almost went over. So it's a bit of a battle, isn't it, this one? But isn't it? And the mud is terribly warm, you know, and it goes between your toes, and it's very relaxing in its own way. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Hallelujah. We're through. Well, that was extremely not painful. Like most things in life, when you start panicking about stuff, it's usually your mind that's creating most of the fear. And here he is. He's just a wee little temple, but I'm sure he's going to be pleased to see us. And we have arrived. And it is an absolute little gem, this one, it really is. And you may have noticed here, after wading through the water, I've had to employ some clever little tricks, because I've been bitten by too many leeches in my time doing this. What I've done, you see, is I've tied my boots, and this is what I actually wear to protect me from snakes and stuff. I've tied my boots around my neck with a bungee cord. Now that is engineering, but I would say this is way more impressive. So it's time to get the boots on and let's have a look at this little gem. And there's something else I wish to show you as well. Now this will only be a brief video because this is a solitary little dumpy temple and it's usually at that point, I say, nobody ever visits. And it is such a rare delight to say, this one is loved to bits. And I've never said that. Now, how do we know this? Let's go over here. There's some bits to show you, to show how there is a person who adores this temple so much. There's this gentleman here and this lady here. Now, I don't know, but the guy, I would say it's a gentleman who's carved them. And all these water bottlings as offerings are all new and fresh because there's no dust on them. There's even flowers. Isn't that majestic? They're plastic, of course. But let's not scan round too fast because look, somebody is planting all these flowers and stuff. There's bamboo here. Look at this. Look, there's little flowers, these tiny, tiny, tiny little red flowers. I absolutely adore these. And then there's more being planted. There's all these candles in here and other bits and pieces. And it goes on round. Look, there's stuff being planted here. So what do we see inside? Well, not an awful lot. Let's have a quick look at the perimeter. And he was impressive once. See this? There's this wall that went all the way round. That's the doorway in. That's east. So this is the way people would have come in. But alas not. As we scan again, you can see through here, there's a moat, the traditional moat that goes round. That's part of what we had to wade through. And this would have been the entranceway. But of course, look at it now, it's all blocked up. So there's the blocked entranceway, but let's just very quickly scope on round to the side and have a look in, because if we go to the rear, and one has to be careful climbing here, there we go. Oh, see, there we go. Here we go. Right, and this is basically it. Once here dwelled a god, but he has gone. This was the original sort of main entrance. We have the windows over here, and as we go up, we see the trees, the roots have done their work. And what is very interesting about this temple, it literally is in the middle of nowhere. There is just nothing around. There's no houses, there's literally no body. But for some reason, some person has taken this temple and made it, and made it their own. There's literally nobody around, but I'm going to take one quick dash over here because there's something I want to show you, because this view always amazes me. Temple after temple. Now remember, this was the main entranceway. This points east. So out here, there would have been a road. Right here, let me get my positioning. Right here would have been a road, and out here would have been a village, people trading, farming. There's still farming here, but it's like everything's just turned to dust. Everything has just disappeared. But there is a tradition I saw on my way in, and I'm going to show you that now because I think this is fascinating. Now, I travel tens of thousands of miles, and occasionally one gets to see a bit of ancient history as well. See this steaming stack next to me, and by the way, if you think the roads I travel are like this all the time, then you're a bit mental, aren't you? This is deluxe. It may as well be paved with gold. It is perfect in every way. Usually they are atrocious. But look at this, isn't this interesting? What we have here is people making charcoal, the local farmers. Now this has been going on for thousands upon thousands of years. And it's not just obviously in Asia, in Europe as well. This is a highly skilled job. So much so that in England, they developed a special chair. What they had was a chair that only had 3 legs. So if you fell asleep, you'd tilt a bit and you'd fall on the ground. Because what happens, obviously, is you put the wood in here, you pack mud all around it, and then this is where the skill comes in. You have to regulate the temperature with these holes, because if it gets too hot, it goes off literally like a volcano. It just goes boom from the top. I'm fortunate enough to have seen it happen only in a documentary, but it's very rare it happens because these people are very skilled. Now, driving down the road, I've actually come across a gentleman who is making charcoal. Here he is. Hello. Look, and they were dressed like this in Victorian England, and nothing has changed, and it was way before that. But here we're so fortunate because he's just finished the process. It's absolutely remarkable. We are going back thousands of years when it comes to engineering and stuff, and this is exactly how they dressed. So there it is. Those kilns have always fascinated. Living history that goes back thousands upon thousands of years. Knowledge passed, as I said, from father to son and onward and onward. But we're back here at this little temple that's in the middle of nowhere that I have to wade through leeches to get to, and is, without doubt, the most loved, forgotten temple I have ever seen. I'm fascinated by this place, that somebody has devoted so much time. I've even found their broom. Look, it's some twigs with 2 bits of string, you see, and they brum away, or whatever the verb is for brumming. So what an absolute treat. Every single temple always brings me something that I'm not expecting. And I've had a fantastic day. It's been wondrous, living history, and this little chap, he will be in my thoughts as I slumber tonight. And I hope you've enjoyed the trip. And as always, I ask you, please like, subscribe and comment. And until next time, I wish you nothing but the very best. You take good care now.